98.7 Simon. You're listening to Triad Today. Good morning and thanks for coming back with us. I'm Carmen Brown. Join us here every Sunday morning from 7 to 8 a.m. if you're just now tuning in. Got all kinds of neat topics, a lot of great stuff happening in the community, awareness, a lot of support avenues. We deal with everything from with Brenners to Arts for Life, for Make-A-Wish, individual stories and testimonies. Anything that you would like to get the word out about, feel free to email me. Here's my address. It's Carmen@987simon.com. Would love to hear from you. If you're new, welcome to the show. And we have an old friend. It's been, I guess, about over a year ago since we talked. We were talking about Susie's Law. We have Caleb Scott with us. He's the president of the North Carolina Voters for Animal Welfare, also the co-founder of Susie's Law Group. Good morning, Caleb.
Good morning, Carmen.
I'm so glad you're back with us. Now, last time we actually got to meet and you were in the studio, so it's very nice to talk with you again, and you said that this is now your officially full-time gig.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I quit my job just to really advocate for animals in North Carolina because I felt like this was so important, and I feel like we're making tremendous strides for animals in North Carolina regarding laws, and I'm just really excited to talk to you and to be a part of this movement.
Absolutely, and one thing that we've seen in the news, over the past couple of years, I think it's come to light more than ever, and definitely Marcia over at the Guilford County Animal Shelter has seen a huge part of it too, is with the puppy mills and the crackdowns that have happened, getting these animals out of these horrific situations. And that's one thing that you had contacted me on that we want to discuss today and bring awareness and attention to, and let people know how they can get involved as well. What exactly are puppy mills?
Well, puppy mills are basically large-scale breeder operations that have gone wrong. Now, people sort of envision breeders as basically all breeders be focused on the animals and the health and welfare of the animals. A lot of people start like that, but unfortunately, a lot of breeders get sidetracked with the money part of it, and they sort of forget about the individual dog. North Carolina Voters for Animal Welfare, we are advocate for responsible breeding. We feel like responsible breeding for the health of the dog is good, but when these dogs are basically neglected to the point where they're not getting that care, they're not being watered, food, shelter, and stuff like that, that's when we feel like we need to take action on these issues and resolve these situations, because it's just not acceptable, and then North Carolinians don't believe it's acceptable also.
Absolutely. Any type of abuse, period, neglect, not acceptable. Susie's a perfect example of how something tragic turned into something brilliant and changed history as we know it. So tell us exactly what the Dogs Against Puppy Mills campaign is.
Okay, basically what that was is we were sort of brainstorming ideas to bring this issue to the public awareness, and one of our board members, Karen Loveless, she's our treasurer, came up with this idea. There was a sort of spin on the whole dog shaming thing. Now, people are not sort of familiar with that. Basically what it is people take photos of dogs and they write a sign on a piece of like notebook paper and say basically what the dog is thinking or saying or something like that. So it's supposed to be something humorous. And we took that and flipped it and made it into something more positive, where we took the dog and the owners wrote something along the lines of, my human is a registered voter and they want a commercial breeder bill, which would basically hold breeders accountable for the health and welfare for the animals, and just basically giving those animals a voice. So people love showing off their animals. So what we're doing is they're taking the photos, they're writing to their legislators on the photos and directing it towards them, saying basically we want a breeder's law, and we put it on our website, which is ncvaw.org. And basically, it's a fun way to get the message out about this problem we have in North Carolina with puppy mills.
And let's talk about that. What is the problem? What is the challenge? And and today, like everybody's seen on TV and your 5 o'clock news, huge stories in the past couple of years. I think more than I've paid attention more in the past couple of years. But what is the situation like right now?
Well, we've had this problem has been going on probably for decades, as far as we know. It's only been until we've had our new state director for the Humane Society of the United States, Kim Album, has made a real push. This is a personal interest that she has in this issue, and she's made a real push to ferret out these bad breeders in the state. And really, we're just touching upon the tip of the iceberg here. There's been 12 puppy mill busts in in the last year and a half. I've personally been on these raids. I mean, words or pictures cannot accurately describe the horror of these operations. I mean, it would take the people that run these things. They're either mentally ill or morally depraved, because it's just sickness. I mean, it's a cross between hoarders and people that have just forgotten that these are live creatures that they're breeding over and over and over again, basically, so they can't breed anymore, and they just they dump them off the animal shelter and create basically a burden on the taxpayer, and it's not a good situation to be in. And I think North Carolinians has stood up and said, enough is enough. We can't take any more of this. These are living, breathing creatures. They deserve respect. They deserve to be treated like we want our animals to be treated. And so far, the legislators, a lot of them have just not been in step with their community values about this issue. It's really a mainstream issue because these are cats and dogs, and we just want, responsible breeding, and we just don't think it's too much to ask.
Yeah, because you guys make it very clear, not going after breeders, you're going after irresponsible, neglectful, abusive puppy mills that, like you said, and I think the majority of people listening, you've seen a clip on the news, you've seen something you've pulled up on the internet, or, whatever the story of the day was, and they show some clips that are very hard to watch.
Yes.
I
Yeah,
can
definitely.
imagine being there in your shoes and actually witnessing it firsthand. I don't think it's acceptable on any level for anybody, whether you are a dog lover or not. It's abuse is abuse. So now, how can people, your everyday person, as people listen to these stories and see them, how can they get involved and not feel like, well, my voice doesn't count, or what can I do? Let's tell them what they can do.
Well, everybody's voice always counts in this situation, because if you don't contact your legislators and let them know how you feel about this issue, they're never going to know. They can't sort of clairvoyantly figure out what you're thinking about these issues. So what we recommend is go to our website. It's, again, ncbaw.org. And there is, under the menu, under Get Involved, is Who Represents Me. And it'll tell you exactly who your state senator and House rep is. And you can contact them and say, look, I've heard about this issue about puppy mills. I want to see a commercial breeder bill to stop these puppy mills and regulate breeders go into effect in North Carolina. I mean, we've been working on this issue for almost 4 years now, and we can't get any further because of large agricultural interests have been pushing back repeatedly, just because they think that once we create laws for dogs, that somehow we're going to come after pigs or next or something like that. It's really confusing because pigs are not dogs and vice versa. So it's a very frustrating situation because the majority of the public, I would think 99% of the people out there, want to see some sort of legislation law passed to protect these animals. It really feels like a no-brainer, but, the legislators, a lot of them are just out of step with the community's values on this issue.
So really, the lesson right now is in order for anything to move forward and progress, you've got to speak up and say something. And you're referring specifically to the commercial breeder bill.
Well, the commercial dog breeder bill, and, it's really intolerable that nothing has been done so far. I mean, when we see news reports it's just like every month about this issue. I mean, the problem is there, and we're not addressing it, and it should be addressed. And people should be outraged that legislators have not taken action. I mean, luckily, a lot of our legislators in Guilford County are very proactive on this issue. It's when we go outside of Guilford County that it feels like a lot of the legislators aren't listening to us. There are some really good ones out there, and just to let everybody know, on our website we do have a voter guide to indicate who the pro-animal legislators are. So if you want to visit our website and check out who these people are, I mean, you know exactly who to vote for in this situation. In order to keep those legislators we want in there, they're going to vote for the animals.
You suggest, your website offers information on who to contact. You can email, you can write letters, you can make phone calls, all the above.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And the other thing is people, we have a number of ways you can go about addressing the situation. We do also say, if you're going to buy a dog, the first thing we advise is go to your local animal shelter. I mean, those are dogs that they're wonderful companions. I mean, they're looking for a home. If, unfortunately, if they don't find a home, they might be euthanized. I mean, that's just the unfortunate fact. We do have a pet overpopulation problem in North Carolina because basically we've got no real spay and
is so important. And by the way, it's, you know, you can Google it, you can look it up on, or email myself. There's tons of low-cost spay neuter clinics. We only have about 30 seconds left here, but I want everybody to know that I've seen in a neighborhood I used to live in, a cat overpopulation, animal control there all the time, and it becomes very frustrating to understand there are means, even within a tight budget, to spay or neuter your animals. Caleb, again, if you're just tuning in, and I definitely want to talk to you again soon because there's so much more we could talk about. Caleb Scott, he's the president of the North Carolina Voters for Animal Welfare and also co-founder of Susie's Law Group we spoke to with a while back. And I want to thank you for your time so much. Give the website one more time, and then also you can hook up with you guys on Facebook and on Twitter.
Yeah, it's ncvaw.org, North Carolina Voters for Animal Welfare, and check out our Dogs Against Puppy Mill campaign. It's a great way to get involved.
Excellent. And you can check them out on Facebook and on Twitter. You can go to my page. I might link up to both of those. Well, thank you, Caleb, and you enjoy this coming week and appreciate everything you do, and please thank all your volunteers and staff as well.
Thank you so much, Carmen.
You're so welcome, Caleb, and hopefully we'll talk to you here soon. And thanks for everybody tuning in this morning. We will be right back. I'm Carmen Brown, and you're listening to Triad Today on 98.7 Simon.